Here. Happy Friday. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. Nicole, what are you having this evening?
Oh, you know, me, my signature is Tito, orange, and crayon. Mr. Nick, I need you to tell me what you're drinking and 3 things that happened this week.
Well, I'm having my signature Seven Oaks Cabernet. Well, CM Punk has been hospitalized by Drew McIntyre. Swerve's house has been burnt down by Hangman Page, and we have AEW all-out predictions. It's Friday, September 6th, 2024. This is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Welcome back in, everybody. Happy Friday. It's been almost a week since we've seen you. We were here Sunday covering Bash in Berlin, but we're back. So this week we're recapping everything that happened, at least the big items. Nikki, thoughts this week on anything in particular? Or your overall thoughts?
A lot, still a lot going on. Wrestling doesn't sleep, and clearly neither do I. It's been a long one. It's a short week, but it's been full Fridays again. I'm tired, but we're gonna keep the energy up because we're talking wrestling.
Exactly. It's exciting. It's a very exciting week. For me, particularly, I know, Nikki, you enjoy this as well. It's opening week of the NFL football season as well, and we see a lot of crossovers between the NFL and the WWE and professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you prefer to call it. So it's a really, really exciting week for us. So we're going to try and combine a lot of different things and do a little bit of a NFL crossover of sorts, as we saw the Chiefs last night defeat the Baltimore Ravens. So we're going to try and get to a little bit of a mix of everything on this show. But first, we get to the basics. Monday Night Raw. We'll kick it off. If you missed it, let's get some of the takeaways. Burning down the house. We open with the new announcer, Joe Tessitore's debut on Monday Night Raw as a new announcing team with Wade Barrett. Nikki, any of your takeaways on Joe Tessitore's announcing debut?
First night, everyone's like, there was a little bit of a flub this and a flub that. I think it was great. I think he has like a very good speaking voice, and like that's not what he sounds like, but you know, stage voice, acting. I really like his voice, and like everyone said, he's a wrestling fan. I still can't remember him. I never Googled him. Like one of the boxing bald guys that they had for a while. There was like
Adam Lee?
No,
not Adam Lee.
He was an announcer.
He was the GM.
Someone will write it in the comments down below. But he was terrible, and poor Kevin Patrick, that sweet little baby pickle, just tried his best and just wasn't clicking. I have high hopes for him because he does have that ESPN background. He is a wrestling fan, and I really like the tone of his voice. I'm kind of skipping ahead, but like when Drew came out in the sweatshirt, he's like, "That's Drew McIntyre," instead of Cole's like, "That man." And clearly Drew
McIntyre in a hoodie. Like, he said it so weird though. He said it kind of hokey. That's what kind of got me.
It's like, but still, you kind of need that, like, cheesiness that Cole brings. But like, I don't know. I have high hopes for him. I get it. It was his first night, but I think he can only, knock on wood, go up from here. But I'm happy, excited. I do like him and Wade. I think they had some good bands.
Yeah, I think he warmed up as the night went on. He definitely warmed up. I liked how, like, again, it's sports season. It's NFL opening week, as we say. Like, he kicked it off and he talked about like the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna make a lot of football drops.
I know. Get ready for the dad football puns and jokes.
But he's like, it's like a Denver Broncos crowd. He tried to warm up the crowd, and like, I get his. He's playing into his sports background too. Like, there's a fine line between playing, being the announcer and being like I think I mentioned it to you before. I was like, what I loved about Cole, and especially McAfee, well, actually McAfee more so, is that he put so much emotion into the announcing. And maybe it's just, again, he's warming up like early, but like, that's what's gonna really make his signature, like JR, like God, like all that. You heard the emotion in the calls, like, and maybe it's just, and then maybe it's just time that like that'll happen. And like maybe the moments create that too. But
again, he's got 3 hours under his belt now. Like, you got to give him some time. But I think getting the reps and getting warmed up, building the chemistry with the fans, building the chemistry with Wade. I think him and Wade and him, I think, are going to be good together. Very much, again, high potential. Like the other guy, I still can't remember the fuck his name. But I just the first night, I just got such a like.
It's gonna kill me that I can't.
Someone Google it. I clearly don't care that much. But I could just tell from the first night, like, he didn't have chemistry with Corey. There was nothing, like, he wasn't like. I get such better vibes from this guy, and I think it's gonna be good.
I actually did like, and again, we're splitting ahead to later in the evening with the Drew stuff, but that they did let him go on his own for however that period of time was, which really makes you like allows him to kind of connect with the WWE universe, the listener, right? Like, that's what I really enjoyed.
I put that in my notes for later on. That I was like, I love that Wade. It made it real when Wade got up because him and Drew are friends, and he's like, whoa, like hey, blah blah, and then Joe was left on his own. I think that was a great. I went not spot, but
yeah, no,
but I don't know. I think it's gonna be good.
I don't know. What do you all think? Let us know in the comments below. What did you think of Joe Tessitore's announcing debut on Raw? Did you like it? Do you not like it? He's too much of a sports guy? I don't know. Do you want more of a ex-wrestler? I don't know.
I am a little, because again, I guess, my love for Corey Graves. And I'm a little sad that they're putting him back on color. But I do like Cole and Corey back together in this interim period, at least till January.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, I don't think you're not going to go wrong wherever you put Cole, and Corey's been really good. So like, Cole's the staple for the whole brand. No matter, he's the anchor. That's the best term I could use. He's the anchor. The brand. But yeah, overall, I really did like what Tessitore brought to the table. By the overall product by the end of the night, I think I could stomach him for. I don't know, that's a bad term, but I think he will grow into the role, and perform well. That being said, we move along where Raw was actually opened by Rhea Ripley, and where she called out,
she called out Liv. She was like, basically, shout out our new friends Cheryl and Kimmy. Thanks for joining. Lisa, I love you.
Oh yes, let's get everyone.
And then
Cheryl,
really so friend Lisa,
says hello. Lisa, the regular,
immensely.
Kimmy,
new friend,
welcome in.
And who we haven't seen in a minute at the bar.
Yeah, Cole is a staple of the whole. Is that my my platform? I can't with it. It's already starting, and it's only 6
buckle up, kids.
It's gonna be a long night.
It's gonna be a show. But
And that might be a personal foul. There we go.
Oh no.
We're doing these.
It's gonna be so much football.
It's gonna be so many puns
about football. But Rhea comes out and calls out Liv, saying that she pinned Liv. She basically deserved the shot at what she's never lost. And then, of course, Dom comes out and hello, Black Eye. I know I didn't read or it didn't really come up in the news, like what spot in that match got the Black Eye.
I don't have a shot of it, but I'm not 100% sold that's a real. You can get contacts.
I don't think so. That looked like the whole when he turned his eye and that was just all red on the inside. I don't think that, again, maybe there is, but to me,
there's good makeup artists. I'm telling you.
100%. To me, it looked real. I don't know. Tell us in the comments below what you think.
Still real to me.
It is still real to me. But basically, Dom comes out and saying that like Rhea took advantage of them, that they were jet lagged, they didn't sleep for multiple reasons, grossies. And basically saying that like she doesn't like deserve a shot. Like Liv beat her before, Liv's gonna do it again, and she's like anytime, any place. And he's like, oh, any place. And then, of course, Liv tries to come out and Rhea gets her.
The blind side. Yeah. The old bull hammer.
No.
It's the reverse bull hammer. Or just an elbow.
Just a back elbow.
if you want to be a dick about it.
I do. Then Rhea goes after Dom because he kind of runs out the ring, and then Liv hits Rhea, and then she gets stuck in the ropes. So then Liv comes and she's kicking her and kicking her and kicking her. I love that spot. I'm assuming maybe they practice it.
What's the same one that just at a lower level that Priest did actually a couple months ago?
But it seemed his seemed scary and like legit for a second. Like this, like when she kind of rolled, it's like, all right, they're going into this spot. Like it was very fluid, but I feel like Priest felt a little scarier. This didn't feel scary to me. This is like, all right, she's gonna get beat up. Because we've been saying that, like, really besides that one.
Yeah, like you thought more natural. Yeah, like from like Priest was more natural. Like he could have been legit injured. Right? Is that?
I guess that's the way you want to say it. I feel like Priest in the moment felt a little scary that it was real. This, when it was happening, it felt like this was the planned spot.
Yes. Okay. Yes, more organic. No, less organic.
I don't know.
More planned, less more planned, less. Yes.
Stick your adjective down below. But then, of course, her terror twin comes running out to get her out of the room. And scene.
Exactly. And he saves the day, and we move along. So, sets up ultimately what becomes the main event match where Priest needs a partner. Yeah. Which actually, go ahead.
So Rhea's backstage throwing a fit at Medical, and then him being like, they're besties. He's like, calm down, like let them, like completely calms her down. Like they're gonna help you. I'm gonna go get a match with these clowns. He even calls them clowns or idiots, whatever he calls them. Like I want to get revenge because again, the theme of this is revenge. So then they cut back later. She's got a crutch. And he's like, Pierce won't give me the match because Finn will only agree to a tag match. And he's like, you can't wrestle. I don't have any other friends. And she's like, I got you. I got someone. Let me talk to them. And
let me talk to you.
And then he makes like a cheeky face and he's like, let me know what he said. And then, surprise, surprise, it's Jey Uso. Priest and Jey have...
No, wrong one.
Well, then that's what and they have a quick backstage segment together of like, oh, we had like obviously the Usos, the Judgement Day, whatever they had there, or I guess Jey Priest. I don't remember. But they had like their schmoz, and it's like kind of water on the bridge, like we're good, and then Jay's like wapa, and then Priest is like, yeet. It's like all right, they're friendsies. So that leads to the main event.
Right. So ultimately that would be. Should we skip ahead? I don't know if we won't skip ahead. That will lead to what our main event is for Raw.
We already skipped ahead. But...
yeah. Later in this evening.
Okay.
No. Any other?
No, if we're not going to talk about main event, then I'm done.
No, we're going to talk about later.
Yeah. So
yeah,
what
okay.
we're not. Yes. Do you see how
unbelievable?
See, you're rushing me because you want to get to your girlfriend. Do you see?
I had it.
He cut me off so he can talk about Ivy Nile.
Busted.
Oh, honey, I got you. I know you're little Mama, I know what you're doing. Anyway,
Unbelievable. So we move into what ends up being a match with American Made and American Alpha.
Alpha Academy.
American Alpha. Oh my gosh. I literally wrote it as American Alpha. And I miss American Alpha. They were good. They were good too. But yes, American Made versus American. Oh, say it again. I literally was going to do it again. American
Made versus Alpha Academy.
I don't know why I can't get that out today. But yes, Alpha Academy. It's a tough one. Solid match. Honestly, and as I show it here, yet again, Maxine Dupree.
Look, again.
She's outshining Ivy Nile as much as I love my girl Ivy Nile.
Again, like her kick. I love she did the splash off the top.
Ed wants to call them the American males.
I mean, as they should be. Her weird little reverse caterpillar thingy. Again, that's also my new motto on the show. All you need, give them a chip and a chair. She's definitely getting as much as she can. The little couple minutes that she's allowed to shine, she's been shining.
Yeah.
And honestly, my eyes are more drawn to her, what she's been doing. And I just can't get over, like, again, she's good, but like Ivy can't see over the top rope, and it kills me. It makes me laugh.
Just because she's short doesn't mean. What's her name? Short too. In AEW. Oh my gosh. She's from New Jersey. I'm blanking on her name. Oh my god.
Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, Layla Hirsch. I knew it started. I was about to say something.
Where's she been? I haven't watched ROH, so she can be anywhere.
But regardless, solid match, which ultimately serves to put over American Made. Gable comes out, or he's already out, and ultimately issues a challenge to Uncle Howdy. So next week it'll be the full groups finally, which it seems like it's.
Will be the three guys and Ivy versus whatever three of them, which I'm assuming Casey, Loomis, Rowan, and Nikki.
Like, that's the thing that I don't get about this whole, like, and that we love the Wyatt Six and Uncle Howdy and all that. I just don't understand, like, if you put Howdy in this match, you already had the one-on-one with Gable. That seems like a blow-off. You had the six-man, now it's a full, like, unless you're adding, like, I feel like there's maybe another twist to the storyline that they may add a fourth member to American Made.
It is a street fight. Which would mean Howdy would probably get involved. But did you feel like it should have been like the six-man, then the mixed, then Chad Howdy? If they were maybe
yes,
else
or
that Friday,
or vice versa, or the mixed, then the like I don't know, like I want the whole group, and then either the whole group is the blow off or the one-on-one is the blow off. This seems weird because like. If Howdy gets involved, to me, it's going to be like either he wrestles and then it's just like kind of like, well, like how is this the blow up? Or he has his team, the six wrestle for him again. In which case, then it's like, what does that do for Gable? Unless Gable wins, and then that just keeps it. Maybe it prolongs a feud for another.
But I don't know. I feel like this is the first week that I was kind of like.
Ed also said Darby Allin is also short.
Yeah, that's why I laughed before.
Oh.
I feel like this is the first time I'm not like loving it. Like I love the promo last week of again, it's this thing like Bo in the TV. Like again, when this first all started, Bo came out and he's like, remember Chad Gable's running around like, I don't know, Bo Dallas, and everyone's like, yeah, we know. Yeah. And then like Bo is in Pierce's office, and then Bo comes out and they beat him up or whatever. But then even in the video promos, it goes back and forth about him being Bo, and then him towards the end he gets all angry, and then he's there you are, then he's Howdy. I didn't like him coming out cutting a promo live as Howdy.
It was interesting. I didn't think so. When I first saw it, I wasn't a fan. Then I watched it back, and I was like, okay, it's not so bad because he was like, he was like 375 days. I like wallowed, or he's been like miserable, whatever. I forget the exact term, but ultimately, it's the same like kind of like beating around the cryptic, tone that the Bray Wyatt type stuff has always been. And then he lands with like, I really like the lines like, you gambled your very being and we will collect the debt. That was just a great closing line. And like, so to me, like, yeah, it wasn't like,
if he did the
strong.
same promo, not as on the stage, like it was like another video package, I probably would have liked it more. I just didn't like him as Howdy on stage cutting the promo. I don't know. I could be maybe being too harsh here, but I didn't love him doing it live.
That's fair.
I love that line. Like, I do want this to be so good, and we've been saying that every week for 1,000 weeks now. This is the first time I was kind of like,
yeah, a little underwhelming compared to everything else. I mean, a lot of the other stuff was taped though too, and then like a lot of the other segments were just like quick, quick hitters. So this is the longest, aside from his match, the longest he's been probably exposed out there. So I don't know. It's an interesting.
Or even maybe if he came out as Bo and did that same thing, maybe maybe it's just him with the Howdy mask.
Well, no, I think the idea is that Bo doesn't come with them. Howdy only comes with them.
Yeah, but he was alone.
When Bo came out, he was alone. That's on. Yeah.
Oh, he was alone putting his promo.
Yeah, but like I think the group, like, so if he's challenging the group, it won't be Bo to accept. It would have to be Howdy because Howdy's the only one who could be with the group and can answer for the group. Bo's a different, in his mind, in the story. True. Bo's a whole different entity, person, whatever. Just like Corey Graves said a week ago, he's like, I wrestled Bo. This is not Bo. This is some psychedelic version of somebody else.
How dare you? Corey but he didn't even. Oh, move on.
Unbelievable. So we do move on. I mean, I'll glance over it. Pure Fusion Collective did get a victory. I don't know. They're still rising.
I forget what their catchphrase is. I look at them and like, I just feel like,
oh, shoot your shot.
Oh, shoot your shot. I was just like, guns up. The new Bang Bang Gang.
They are the female Gang Bang Gang. Wait, Gang Gang up.
I say
well,
Bang Bang Gang. But no, I don't know. I like all of them individually. I don't know if I'm really loving this clicking. They should have won whatever match a couple weeks ago. Whatever it was. Or like Sonya losing her second match back. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is just kind of floundering.
Yeah, not really. I'm sure they'll challenge in the tag division more.
Like, or do you have, I think you have to build them up and maybe they take the belts off. Jaden.
Yeah, that's probably what. I was
gonna say Jaden Cargill.
Jaden, that's a good tag name.
Bianca and Jade.
But yeah, I think ultimately that's probably where they're going.
Shayna made her tag.
Exactly.
That we don't recognize.
So, no, well put. So, again, continue to be built up. We're gonna glance over. Now we go to what was our Raw takeaway on the night. Drew McIntyre in a hoodie.
I don't know what that accent was.
I don't know why that. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know how he became like a Southern announcer, but
Sucker Suncast, son.
But regardless, Drew McIntyre ends up hospitalized. I love the way that this happened, because this was the whole, like, the storytelling with this whole feud has been phenomenal as we go towards Bad Blood, towards the birthday pay-per-view. But like, this was the whole shot since WrestleMania. This tripping him at the announce table, it was Ross Perot. It was probably Ross Perot. Maybe he'll come back later as the drinks keep flowing. So wine keeps flowing. But regardless, Drew McIntyre ends up sneaking out of the crowd, and like, again, it's that
wasn't out of the crowd. He came out from underneath the ring.
Oh, he wasn't. Oh, well, he snuck out. He's a sneaky.
But I love that it did feel a little sneaky because, like, Punk cut a promo that he's going to go after Gunther.
Thank you.
So, yeah, he did. That's like, he cut his little, isn't it great to be alive, and blue, and did his whole little spiel. End scene. And then he's going around and, like, slapping everyone's hands, and he goes on top of the commentary table, and he does his signature, like, arms out. And that's when Drew came out of the ring and attacked him. So I like that it kind of, like, subverted a little bit that you were expecting him to come out to cut off the promo, because that's usually what they do. They cut the promo off. But he's like, Gunther, come after you. And then does his little posy pose, and that's when Drew strikes.
Right. So Drew comes out, strikes, ultimately hits him with not one, not two, but three. And this is actually what, so this is the, as we were talking about earlier, the solo Tessitore, segment, which was really great. Tessitore was great in this. I got him a lot of credit, and it worked out nicely, just really well written and played out with Barrett and everything in this storyline. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it helps because, again, like, Wade goes and tries to calm down Drew, so you have Joe 2 seconds by himself. But when Wade comes back on commentary, he's just like, I know Drew, like, that's not, he's like, I didn't see Drew behind the eyes, like, he's not, like, just kind of sold that, like, Drew's losing it a little bit. So I think it did give that moment for him to go back on commentary and was like, oh my God, like, he's like, I couldn't calm him down. He pushed me and we're, like, besties, basically. Like, he's, like, out for blood, out for revenge.
And ultimately,
I feel like they did so much in that little segment. That just, like, 2 seconds or that Wade left commentary that did a lot.
Yes. No, for sure. So he ultimately, in one of the first couple Claymores, gets back the elusive bracelet that everyone wants. Bracelet on a pole match.
Not anymore.
And until
oh my goodness.
he very sexually charged rip of this bracelet.
This needs to end in a live sex celebration because the two of them, because the first, that's what started this, when he sexy crawled over to WrestleMania on the table, and now he, like, thrust he breaks them. That's so loud.
I know, I need to hire one.
So he rips the bracelet.
Let's try it this way.
I don't know if anyone heard that. He's trying to do a boy noise. I don't know what's happening for him. So he rips the bracelet and puts all the beads in his hand, and then he shoves it in Punk's mouth.
Gross. It's not sanitary.
And then he's trying to, I know, those been in too many people's pantaloons. But then Drew does another.
Now you want to know what kind of beads there are.
No. Moving on. So he hits Punk with another Claymore, and I don't know if it's still beads in his mouth, spit, gum, a tooth, whatever, or all of it. When he hits that Claymore, just Punk's mouth exploded. I don't know if you have a photo.
No, I don't.
But when rewatching it back, it's just like poof. So I hope it was some beads. I hope it was something. I don't think it was a tooth. We probably would have heard about it. But huge Claymore. So of course Pierce and Jordan and all the referees, everyone's freaking out. Joe and Wade are screaming, "Get medical, whatever! Get him out of here. We need to stop this." They get him on the gurney. They wheel him out. I believe it comes back from commercial, and then Drew basically follows him and starts beating him up even more before he gets into the ambulance.
Yes, and ultimately, who knows when? Well, we'll probably see Punk in another 2 weeks to build up bad blood until he comes back to beat up Drew McIntyre, and then McIntyre's away for a week for that last epic showdown.
Which is fine, because then they can be off TV. Because then, like, let's give more time to the Fatal 4-Way match next week. Again, you can let this breathe a week and come back and have it still be hot. And then again, this is going to be the main event of Bad Blood. It's going to be a Hell in a Cell match, and we're all going to celebrate this match on my birthday.
Yes. So it's been said by Nicole, so is written.
It shall be done.
It shall be done.
That's all I want for my birthday, is this match, the main event in a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood.
Fair enough. So, in the interest of time, skip ahead to a couple other things. So, moving along later in the evening, we see what is the next challenger for Gunther. Sami Zayn will challenge Gunther Any takeaways on this, Nikki?
It's hard because again, you love Sami. Everyone loves Sami Zayn. He comes out and does this impassioned promo and talks like the way that Sami does talk. Sami Zayn does talk, but part of me is just like, I want Gunther to fight someone new because it's like Sami, Randy. I'm kind of ready for someone new. Again, they're gonna put on a great match. I don't know if you put this at Bad Blood. Maybe not on my card. Again, it's gonna be a good match. I think Gunther's gonna go over. I think he's gonna get his win back. I don't think because that'd be, or maybe he does win. And wouldn't that be insane that Sami Zayn is Gunther's like Achilles heel?
That wouldn't be awful.
I know.
I could see him taking it from him though in like 6 months, because I do like that this idea. I do like this idea of him being excuse me, the next, like the foil to him, like the underdog foil, because of what he did with Gunther at Mania, and like, you know, he had the upset of Braun Breaker, so like, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing. And especially now as like a transition until whatever they build up as the next big.
There's also, if you believe the rumor mill, they're going to do Gunther CM Punk at Survivor Series. So would this just be a blow off at Bad Blood? Would this be? I would, if they're going to do this match, I would want to see it. Because isn't another between Bad Blood and Survivor Series? Isn't there another Bad Blood Saudi Arabia match or pay-per-view? I think that's when we were away.
Yeah.
But I think, again, correct me down below, but I believe between that was a Saudi match. I don't know if you necessarily want to book Sami to lose in Saudi, so maybe this will be a Bad Blood.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I mean, with only the five matches, who knows? And the last pay-per-view or PLE, there was 3 Raw, so I would think that they might alternate, but SmackDown doesn't.
I don't know, but you have the two champs, whatever Rhea and Liv are gonna do.
Yeah, so maybe it's a 6 match.
And then,
that'd be interesting. I'm not sure, but do you all want Sami Zayn as the next challenger, or do you think that there's someone else that's better suited right now? I'm not really sure. I think I like it. I think Nikki and I both enjoy it.
I'm ready for something new, but I think maybe this is the Punk has to finish this, so you're gonna have a little match with Sami. I guess maybe that's my problem. Like right now, there isn't like True. Cody's having all these little one-off things. They said that Cody's not going to have a long-term feud with anybody until Roman comes back, or Rock, or whatever bloodline stuff they're doing. I just don't want to see the same thing with Gunther, that he's just having these little one-off matches. I guess I'm going to say something and also contradict myself at the same time, because we've been rewatching so many like early, early to mid to late pay-per-view. And I know there was a lot of Randy Cena until we got too tired of Randy Cena. But there were some good nuggets of Randy Cena. Like, I want one of them, I'm assuming it has to be Gunther at this point, not Cody because of bloodline. But have him have this crazy rivalry. Give him a Rick Steamboat. Give him, like, a Randy Steamboat. Like, have him, where's his...
A Randy Steamboat. That's actually a wrestler.
No, like,
Randy
where's the... I'm just thinking, like, who... Even, like, thinking of Roman's reign. Who was that feud that he had that you were like, oh my god, when he was champion?
Cody. Brock.
Yeah, when he was like, I guess you can say Cody, but I just feel like that was like the beginning half of like Roman as heel before Cody came back. Was it just KO? Like, am I gonna go back? Besides, again, the 2 Cody Mania matches. What's the match you look back and you're like, oh?
I don't know.
Like him Edge, when him Edge Bryan. Like,
yeah, that one. Yeah, probably that one.
Was that like an oh my god?
Feud? And then the Brock ones. No,
I wanted that turned into very Randy.
I remember the Brock ones. That's what will get him up.
I don't know, but again, contradicting myself. I just want to see like a bigger, like they say that, like I know Ric Flair said that Sasha Banks is like Charlotte's Ricky. Like they had this big feud, like all this stuff, or like again, like Becky Charlotte. Like where, like I want them to have those matches or have that rivalry. And right now, I feel like I don't have that with either one of them.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Closing out Raw, we see the Judgment Day falling again.
So you should have just let me do this first.
What's that?
I said we should have just got this out of the way. But I'll be quick. So schmaz, they win.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I guess the question here is Judgment Day falls again.
Yeah, so like Luke tries to make it do the distraction. Of course, then Rhea comes out, beats her with a crutch. She goes running off, distracts the Judgment Day. Finn takes a shitty spear from Jay, and then he hits the Razor's Edge on JD, tags in Jay. Jay does a splash, pins JD McDonough. 1, 2, 3. They beat the tag champs in a non-tag match.
So my question quickly is, do Priest and Jey Uso now challenge for the World Tag Titles?
I would love to see it, but also I feel like, are they prepping Jay to do that Survivor Series Bloodline match that everyone thinks is coming? Will they challenge for the belt and not win?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm...
But I love the three of them together. I literally wrote in my notes, there's lust in his eyes for Rhea. So there's a couple times they're like, and then they all eat in the ring together.
No, it's interesting to see. I think they'll challenge. I tend to agree with you. I think they'll challenge, but yeah, if you're going to keep Jay in that Bloodline feud.
But honestly, I'd rather see these three. I've seen Bloodline. I get, would it be an amazing War Games match? Yeah. Is it something new and fun? I want to see him back with his brother again, who betrayed him 7,000 times.
I'm okay if they throw another person in the Bloodline feud, like Hikuleo, or if Jacob comes in. So hey, if that's the case, I'm all for it. And you want to remove.
Then is Sami gonna lose to Gunther because Sami's supposed to be the fourth man? Who's the fourth man?
Well, yeah, I don't think Sami's winning.
I'm just saying.
But regardless, that wraps up Monday Night Raw. I think what we're going to do here, we're going to combine out as we move into our AEW Dynamite segment. I think what we're going to end up doing is bleeding that into our AEW All Out predictions.
Do you just want to do predictions because we talk too much? You talk too much.
Well, no, let's get some of them. Let's run everyone's, because we want to get to some calls here at the 7:00 hour before SmackDown. We've been running a little long lately. We're trying to be better in the interest of time for callers. So as you want to call in, 7:00 is the new call-in hour. So, but that being said, we want to run you down and catch you up on some of them.
Threaten to run them over.
Run them down. Like in baseball, run them down. But let's take you back to some matches for AEW All Out tomorrow evening. Burning for you, baby. Let's get it going. AEW All Out. We kick it off with what kicked off AEW Dynamite. MJF and Daniel Garcia. The newly re-signed?
He is not signed.
He's not out.
He is not.
So the free agent to be.
Everyone's thinking he's going to. maybe how this match goes. If he looks good, stay. I don't know. I kind of want to see him in NXT.
So ultimately, on Dynamite, MJF actually bloodied Garcia again. So he ends up on top going into the show. Or as the guy on top going into the show.
Mm-hmm.
They had an interesting promo off. They both want to break each other's neck, basically, which is an uncomfortable. It was a whole uncomfortable segment. I don't know. He was like, "I'm gonna break your neck, and if you find someone that stays with you longer than a year, and you get a kid, you're gonna have a tingle down your back, and that's gonna be because of me." And it's like, I get it, but I don't know. This feud to me, is it a strong one? It's not as strong as it could be, I feel like.
I disagree. Again, I know putting you in the wheelchairs is a little weird for us. But I think that was probably Garcia's best promo he ever cut. Again, like, it was the personal hits, like him, like, oh, like his fiance left and then he's got this new girl. Is this new girl gonna stay? It's like, oh, cause again, that's why he had the feud with Christian, because Danny Garcia also father passed away. And then he made the comments about mom, and so it's like digging deep, like nudging. Again, MJF's gonna win. I just hope, like we kind of saw with Swerve, and then I forgot what other we were talking about for Bash in Berlin, but like losing to beat will still make him look good. Like I hope this is great because MJF can put on great matches. I think Daniel Garcia is like a good up and coming that we're gonna see him for a while. I think he's gonna have a long, good career. So I'm hoping this puts on a banger. MJF's gonna win. Next.
So ultimately, I disagree with you here. I think even though MJF's the bigger star, that they're somehow going to get Daniel Garcia the victory here. Maybe he gets beat up after the match and put down by MJF.
Like a sneaky roll up?
No. Like, I think Daniel Garcia is the face. So I think he's legit winning, and because he could benefit more from the win, and him being a free agent to be probably going to re-sign in AEW. They're going to try and make him a bigger star as possible. So, yeah, Ed makes a good point. Imagine Garcia joined BCC instead of
he should have joined back when he was having bangers with Brian.
Yeah, that would have been.
Honestly, nothing against Wheeler, the great Yuta. I'd rather have Garcia than Yuta. I digress.
But yeah, let's see what Steven's got a lot. Something thrown together very quickly so MJF can avoid losing back to back, and Garcia can show how grateful he is to get his way over. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's going to get a new deal, and that's why I think Daniel Garcia gets over it. MJF can deal with the loss and still be up there. So ultimately, in this match, Nikki and I disagree. I got Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if he won. I'd rather, be happy than right. But I don't see MJF losing. I don't. Again, I said Punk wasn't going to lose his first match back, but here I am. But I don't see MJF losing.
Moving along to the AEW, now back to international title. We see Will Ospreay and your boy. I'm calling him your boy.
The best. I absolutely adore Pac. I want so many more things for him. He's not winning this match. I would love to be wrong. I would love for him to take this belt off off Ospreay and go Ryan. Will just got it back. Just made it back to the international one. I don't see him dropping it quite yet. I think maybe eventually drop it back to Pac.
Yeah, well, my quick question is, will this be match of the night? Do you have this as your 5-star Dave Meltzer?
This is the match that, honestly, besides the main, or whatever you want to call it, this is the match I'm most like, it's like, punch my microphone. I'm just so excited. Ospreay puts on great matches. I think I don't know, I feel like have we seen Pac as good as he should be, or is, or, he had the ladder match with BCC, and I feel like they just shoved him in there so he can. Rumors that it was supposed to be the Death Triangle, but they have their feet out the door to
Well, I don't even know. I don't know.
Hit.
Is Pac in BCC? Is he in Death Triangle? Well, Death Triangle.
Death.
I
don't know. He came out and celebrated with Daniel. I don't know. I don't know what BCC is anymore with Moxley and his new little thing going on.
Yeah. Not sure. Ultimately, though, I think you and I both agree, though.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be
he just got the belt.
a fabulous match. This is, again, like the match I'm looking forward to, probably 1A, 1B, but this is definitely 1A for me. The best.
My favorite. Will Ospreay. I'm trying to get through some of the comments. Moving along, we go to the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné, Hikaru Shida. Ultimately, Camille is banned from ringside. That was announced on Dynamite 2 nights ago. So, who you got, Nikki? Any thoughts?
I don't necessarily love, now they're calling Shida the ace. Like, what's his, whatever. I think it's Naito. It's not Naito. It's somebody else. Someone's called the ace over in New Japan. And then they call JD McDonough the Irish ace. I feel like ace is a little overused. I'm not loving that for a character, but I do like her overall, like, new aesthetic of her. And I love she, like, called Moné a bitch. But Moné is not losing this belt to Shida. I think somehow Camille's going to come out like they always do and get involved. I think it'll be again, I didn't love the match between her and Britt Baker. Honestly, I feel like Moné kind of carried that match more than Britt, much that hurts me to say. I think they'll have a good match. Mercedes is not losing.
Yeah, see, my question is this meant to build up Mercedes' credibility as a singles competitor? And I think that's 100% the goal.
She needs to put on I feel like I cut you off. I'm sorry. But
No, okay.
She needs, this match needs to be a banger. Because everyone shit on another match. And I feel like Shida is I know that's not like the best term, but she's such a good hand. She's so safe in the ring. I think she's great in the ring. They'll put on a good match. Like, they've had the match before, but put on pay-per-view, give it a little more time. But Mercedes is walking out.
Agreed. So we are in agreement once again. Mercedes Moné. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Money? I guess money.
No, it's Moné.
Moné. She says it Moné. She says it like weird. She says it weird with a weird like Boston accent. Moné. AEW. We're the best wrestle.
I didn't notice in WWE. I've noticed it so much more in AEW, but that accent is there.
Yeah, he said moan. We're the best wrestle.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe it's moan. Mercedes moan. Mercedes moan.
I don't know, but that accent is
But regardless, we are in agreement. Moving to the other ladies' match of the evening.
Oh my god. I can't watch this match anymore. We've seen it 7,000 times. Chris Statlander has to win, right? Willow has beat her time and time again.
Here's what I'm throwing it up. I'm not even gonna say it.
You don't like Willow. I used to love Chris Statlander. I love that she took the belt off Jade.
Don't like Willow because I don't know. Willow, to me, I can't explain it. It's like the over the top babyface that I cannot stand. I don't know what I just don't like. Yeah, and Chris already lost, so I just like. Are they just gonna be like? And I feel bad for Stokely Hathaway. He can't manage anyone who wins, and he's a great manager. He's a great mouthpiece, and he can't manage anybody who wins.
I love Stokely Hathaway so flippin' much. I love he hit the spinebuster on them. We talked about it. They had the mixed tag match at the 0 hour for All In to determine this tip for this match is All Out. So it's a Chicago street fight. Case of Freeze. I just feel like Stat has to win. I feel like I don't know. This feud has been going on for so long. I want them both to do something different. I do like Willow. I think she's that great baby face that should be feuding with. They've been feuded together so long. I'm ready for again. I want them to be doing something different. I'm ready to see Willow fight somebody else.
Agreed. I think ultimately we're in agreement. We'd like to see.
I think we're gonna be wrong. I think Willow's
I
gonna
know.
tape. Like it doesn't. Statlander has gotten the.
Whatever Tony feels that day is what's going to happen. But similarly, whatever the EVPs feel is going to happen. So as we move along to the tag team title match, which this always throws me off, and because when the trios tag team champions challenge the tag team champions, that to me sounds ridiculous. I don't know. There's so many just excuse you.
How do you feel about this match?
The fact that I don't know, you're a tag team, you should win. This whole it just seems like another thrown together bit, and again the trios titles to me
they're fighting. Well, they had the match, whatever. Then Claudio challenged the Bucks, and it's really because Jack Perry's fighting Brian, so it's like your faction and my faction are fighting each other. I adore Claudio. The other three can go kick rocks, but the Bucks are retaining.
Right. Yeah. The EVPs are not going to let themselves lose these belts until it's at least. I don't even know who the tag team is. Well, I guess maybe the Grizzled Young Vets.
I hate that. I love them, but I hate that catchphrase. Grit your teeth.
The other question I have just very briefly is just is Jon Moxley still part of the BCC?
I'm gonna say no. He's got his new thing with Miss Marina Shafir. And then is he recruiting Darby? Is he not recruiting Darby? He's gonna fight Darby. His quip he's like, I don't care what people say. I think you're a good dude, a good kid. You're a good kid. And I was like, bang bang, shoots fired. Is that a dig at Punk? I feel like
I'm not sure.
I think I think they're trying to recruit him. I know what he's gonna do. He's supposed to go climb on Everest again, and he's got 1 foot.
Yeah.
Let Darby go away for a little bit. I'm done with Darby.
Heal up, buddy.
I know. Our dear Ed is as well. But I do love Mox with Marina. He did an interview. Obviously, if you don't know, him and Renee are married. He was on Renee's podcast, and she was asking about some up and coming people that he wants to work with or likes, and he immediately was like Marina Shafir. It was right after she did Bloodsport, or right before she did the first Bloodsport. Around it was right when Mox got sober again. And he was singing her praises. So kind of him being a weird Triple H, and him being or Marina being Taylor China. I love a dude with a big girl heavy. Again, Triple H and China were so much of my childhood.
Ed said he wanted her for the BCC.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he said that on behind.
Well, they didn't have him.
But they're friends, and then it's crazy because in real life, Marina's married to Roddy. So it's your wife is the heavy for somebody else, which I think is hysterical because Roddy's being that chicken shit heel right now, and I know we have to move on, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just an interesting dynamic that's now going on within AEW of this, I guess, hostile takeover. What are we calling it?
I don't know.
It's not. Well, it's the security guards, but
my main fear, quickly, my main fear is people are thinking that Shane McMahon is going to join up with Jon Moxley, and I hope and pray to God that this is weird internet rumors. But if Shane shows up and joins Jon Moxley, I don't know what. Part of me is gonna be let's watch the world burn, but part of me is gonna go on and cry.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolute creases. Herman says the BCC haven't done anything good lately. Yeah, they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't.
But no, I guess they won the trios titles, sort of, kind of. I don't know. I feel like they lost their way when Regal left, and then Mox finally got a vacation, and then Brian was hurt, and then Wheeler was hurt. They haven't been all together for so long.
Once Regal was gone, I think the group was done.
Well, it's named after him.
Yeah, sorry, it's like any other band. You can't lose your lead singer.
No, let's not get
Regal.
on that. With what the internet's also talking about today, let's not get on that bandwagon.
Well, I don't even know, but I'm not going to get into that yet on the show. But regardless, we move to our what we calling a semi-main event.
No.
Burn for you.
No, what? Okay.
What?
No.
Wait, you're not burning? Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, and is non-sanctioned.
It's a non-sanctioned lights out steel cage match. So that's what I'm saying. This is probably going to go on last, like the other lights out matches, because it's not sanctioned by Tony Khan.
All right. So do you want to do that? Well, we'll do this.
Yeah, we're already here.
Yeah, we're here. So overall, this has been absolute craziness. But like, is this? I guess my question is this the best feud in AEW right now?
It's feud of the year. Hangman's promo of his life. Swerve, like them setting up that like he bought his childhood home. Oh, I fell out of this tree, and this is why I'm fearless. Like it set it up so beautifully for Hangman to be like, again, you so switched it, burning down the house. It's so, and then I think, again, I agree with Herman. Like, oh, the other shot when he's drinking the whiskey is like, this is like your album cover. But the caveat is, Hangman has never beat Swerve. He's going to beat him in this match, and it's not going to count on the record books because it's not sanctioned by Tony Khan / AEW. So Swerve will still have, when this eventually, I'm hoping, gets to the World Championship belt level, that he'd be like, well, you still haven't beat me in an actual match. Because it's going to be a cage match, it's going to be non-sanctioned, it's going to be all sorts of crazy crap. But Hangman has to win, for sure, but it also, he gets the win, but not the necessarily like what he wants in the long run, because like that's what Swerve always says, like you never beat me. And again, he'll win this match, but he still technically will never beat Swerve.
Yeah, I don't know. He burned down the guy's house.
He watched him carry his pregnant. He stalked Hangman Page and said, I watched you carry your pregnant wife into your car and drive her to the hospital. That's also creepy. Again, arson, but like, don't watch me carry my pregnant wife to have our other child. Like,
Herman thinks Hangman should win.
His best promo, like the beginning, his eyes look so crazy, Pam. Like, this is best Hangman. I wish you had the other shot of him drinking the whiskey, like having the drinking kind of not condoning. But him like being that crazy like drinker again, the crazy eyes, and just like sat, and when the fire first shot up around and he had the whiskey in his glass, it's like cinema. Him and Tony Storm, tag team champs.
Well, will they have a mix? Oh God, I'm not going to get into that debate right now. A mixed tag team.
No.
We can't do that. We can't get into that debate right now. Well, Steve, the table right now is on fire. He's still sitting there.
Yeah, and then he had the whiskey.
And it literally blows up. It blows up, and like he probably just like ran off set right after.
Well, it was so staged because the match throw down. It goes behind the nightstand end table, and then goes around him, and then you see the shot out of the other window.
I don't know. Ultimately, to me, I don't know. I think, the guy for my pick.
Finish your thought, and then I have a counter to your thought.
The guy just lost the world title. My pick is Swerve.
You're so hung up on
and his house. His house and world title.
On heel face. You think Swerve's the face?
Yeah, I got a bad picture of Swerve, but yes.
But
I think Swerve deserves.
The other week he stalked Hangman Page and watched him carry his pregnant wife to a hospital. That's also not creepy. Again,
they're both creepy.
They're both
creepy people.
Is this heel versus heel? You literally can't tell me one's more face or heel of the other. They both did really crappy crap to each other.
They did, but I don't know. I just get the feeling my pick Swerve on this one. I don't know.
We'll find out tomorrow.
We shall find out tomorrow. That is the biggest. It's AEW's version of Punk McIntyre, but probably it's lasted longer.
Oh, that's a debate. What feud's better?
Well, that's maybe for someone to call in as we get new people chiming in the chat. So phone lines are open up soon. We got one more match to get through. It is the world title. Bryan Danielson defending against the potentially deserving, potentially not deserving Jack Perry.
It makes me concerned because the Young Bucks, I believe it was Matthew, they cut the promo backstage, and Matt, I'm pretty sure it's Matt, he said he would do anything possible to make sure Jack gets this title. So then who is coming out to save? Again, deserve, it doesn't matter. He's with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I think ultimately...
I said it last week. Like, this does nothing for nobody. Like, is Bryan just fighting because it's Jack's the younger guy and to get the experience? Great. I'm just worried the Young Bucks gonna do some shenanigans. Don't think they're gonna take the belt off him, but like someone has to come out to save Bryan.
Right.
And my hopes and dreams and praise, it's Omega. Like, not to get super physical, but if he can pull a leg or put a foot on a thing or pull out the ref and not get super physical, I just spit a little bit because I'm so excited. But like, you need someone that's against the Young Bucks to save Bryan.
Agreed. Agreed. It might, maybe that'd be a big pop for Omega. Yeah, you do need someone that's going to counteract this. Well, you do have the BCC, so maybe who's the
Bucks are going to beat them earlier in the night.
Yeah, with Okada. Yeah, so
gone, Mox gone.
We shall see.
Eddie Kingston, he doesn't have a leg.
Edge, Adam Copeland.
He doesn't have a leg.
Yeah, he's got a crutch.
Yeah.
Rhea's got a crutch. It works.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Nikki and I agree. Bryan Danielson's not losing his career to Jack Perry, of all people.
I wanted to be Swerve.
Swerve, and Swerve. I don't know how to do that. Nobody really knows how to do that.
Prince Nana does.
Well, yeah, just the one person. Just the one person.
That's all you need.
But that being said, let's open it up. Are you ready, Nikki? It's 7 o'clock hour. Let's open up the phone lines. Ladies and gentlemen, phone lines are now open. Well, Nikki, it's been a fun week. This is a very busy week, right? Busy. A lot going on this week. Not only do we love our wrestling, but we love our football. The NFL kicked off last night, and as a special crossover, we have someone here who not only played in the NFL, but also loves professional wrestling. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? Ladies and gentlemen, he's a multiple-time Pro Bowler, ex-captain of my favorite New York Jets. He played almost 10 years for the Kansas City Chiefs, who won last night. I know my niece Brianna loves the Chiefs now. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Richardson joined the show. Tony!
How are we doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah, it's been a great week. So actually, I played 11 years with the Kansas City Chiefs. I have 1 year with the Dallas Cowboys, 11 with the Chiefs, 2 with the Vikings, 3 with the Jets, so 17 years total. But I'm excited. I mean, who has it better than us? We had Chiefs last night. We get first time ever a game in Brazil here in about another hour. And then we got college football all day tomorrow, NFL football all day Sunday, and then we have Monday Night Football. I'm like, this is football overload. So my dogs are kind of upset with me right now because they're like, we're not going to get as many walks as we normally get. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to be on your guys' show.
Hey, thanks for coming on. We know the struggle. Ours is actually sleeping on the couch right next to us. But yeah, we try and keep the levels relatively low so that it keeps the house.
Yeah. Well, it's funny with my dogs. So my 2 dogs are like laying kind of over the other side of the couch, but both of them are male dogs. But I had Rambo first. He figured out as soon as anytime I'm doing Zoom is when he could just get it and start like chewing on plants, knocking stuff over because he knows I can't physically get up. I remember one time I was doing like a charity deal. And it was for the Minnesota Vikings, and this is like a really cool event. I had like plants and stuff set up in the back, and all of a sudden I heard it boom, and I'm like, he knocked over all like the whole backdrop and everything. And I'm just like, if it's just him and I sitting here, he didn't get anything. But if I get on Zoom, he knows like he cannot get to me. He cannot get up. So if you guys see some stuff, I got one of my blinds down because the sun hadn't gone down yet. Oh yeah, he just All right, come on over, Rambo. Yeah. Oh yeah, he just immediately he knows. Look, there he is.
They know. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he know. All right, go sit down. And he knows as soon as sit down. He knows as soon as Dad gets on Zoom, I don't have to listen to anything that anyone says.
Exactly.
So much. 100%.
The don't think it's a big week for you. Obviously, last night with the Chiefs, a big victory there. So you probably have some pretty good outlooks with they look pretty good.
Yeah, it's but it's funny that it's I think it's just like in any sport, it's a game of inches, and it's like all day long. And I was traveling today. I actually had to go down to I was in Philadelphia earlier today. We had our NFL health screening, and so I got back. And I was supposed to do a dinner tonight with the Vikings are playing the Giants, and we were supposed to meet in the city. And I just been going and going and going. I was like, you know what? Because tomorrow we're doing we're taking them on a tour of Ellis Island, and then I'm literally looking at the Freedom Tower from right here. I live in Jersey City, so we take them to the Freedom Tower, and then we take them to dinner again tomorrow night, and then to the Giants game on Sunday. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm just like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, I just kind of want to be home. So I pulled out a dinner. But I was kind of. It's just so all day long I got a chance to listen to talk radio because I was on the Amtrak. That was, by the way, delayed for an hour this morning. But here nor there. But
don't miss that commute.
Oh my gosh, it's like the train was supposed to leave at 6:44. Me and Wayne Corbett had an event last night down in Atlantic City, so I didn't even get home until like 11 something. So thankfully the game was weather delayed a little bit. Kansas City's game was. So when I got home, it was still going. It was almost midnight. And so my alarm went off this morning at like 4:44, 5 o'clock. I swear I was on an episode of Punk'd. I just knew Ashton Kutcher was just going to jump away from underneath the bed. I was like, there's no way my alarm's going off this early. But anyway, with that being said, I was listening to talk radio all day, and they're like, man, how bad are the Baltimore Ravens? I'm like, literally, the game was decided by a toenail. Like, yeah, and I'm like, you act like the game. I mean, it's a close game. There's two really good teams, but I think, and both teams made a lot of mistakes. There was drop touchdowns from the Chiefs, a lot of penalties from Baltimore Ravens, but I think that's kind of what you see with Week 1. You really don't get a chance to really know how good a team is going to be, I think, until Week 4 or Week 5 because you got to work out. Because no one plays in the preseason no more. Like, I came from the old school where, man, we had 30 straight days of two-a-days. Everyone played in the preseason. Like, now no one even plays and people don't even dress out. So I think you're going to see a lot of growing pains early in the season. For
sure. So for you, obviously, you play for two teams that are predicted to go pretty far this year, right? Kansas City and at least in the AFC, Kansas City and the Jets. Any particular feelings on either team, making the run this year?
Yeah, it's I think for the Chiefs, they're going to have. I mean, even though they're very good, they got a difficult path because obviously, even when I was at WrestleMania this year, and you're talking about the final boss when Roman Reigns, and it's like, okay, everybody's trying to take you down, and then the Cody Crybabies, everyone was happy about that. So it's one of those things like when you're on top, everyone's gunning for you. So with the Chiefs, they're not sneaking up on anyone. You know what I mean? It's like, here's King of the Hill. They're carrying the belt, and they're going to get everyone's best week in and week out. So I kind of feel, not saying that the Jets are going to go on the radar because they got a 4-time MVP and Aaron Rodgers, but I kind of think that it would be, I'm not going to say easier, but I think a lot of people are going to be like, okay, Aaron Rodgers old, this team it's the Jets, the same old Jets, and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that the Jets will kind of have an easier way to get there. But the Chiefs, the way they played last night, and man, I'm like, How do you go get? And it's only Buffalo Bills would trade a pick to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs get the fastest guy that's ever ran at the combine. Like, this dude was running so fast last night. I'm like, how do you get this guy? You lose Tyreek Hill, and he's arguably has track speed, and then you get Xavier. And I saw him run that 4.3 or 4.2 at the combine. Like, who runs that fast? I'm like, only the rich get richer, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I have to say, so we're 2 fantasy football leagues.
Yeah.
One I run, one Nick runs, and in the league I run, he had Worthy and was on his bench. 28 points left on the bench.
Dude, the first time he touched the ball, I'm like, you can't even script this. First time he touched the ball, untouched touchdown. I'm like, you can't even.
In my defense, how can I start him over Jalen Waddle, Justin Jefferson, and Stephon Diggs?
And yeah, it's so funny. I'm glad you brought that up because we got a game kicked off, and so even last night, I didn't even set my roster last night. So whatever I drafted, I didn't even look at it today because I hadn't even had time. And so I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm like, I don't even know if I want to look at it tonight and just like, because I think right now, like you said, who your starters were and who you picked. Like, how could you start a rookie over Waddle and all these, so I think I'm not even gonna look at my roster. I'm not even gonna set it. I might start looking at it around Saturday and get ready for Sunday. But because you talk yourself out of it. But I don't think I wouldn't have started a rookie last night. There's no way, because you wouldn't even think that he would play as much. He definitely wouldn't score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
See, my big takeaway from this is that, I like this. Basically, can we call the Jets the Cody Rhodes now of the season? I think that's fair.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I can't call the Jet fans cry. Well, I can't call them crybabies. Yeah, I just think that I feel sorry for Jet fans. I'm gonna be honest, and I play for the Jets. It's like all my buddies call me. It's like, man, why can't we have nice things? It's like every time we get a nice little toy, I play with Brett Favre. We bring Brett Favre, and all of a sudden his arm is gone. And then then you bring in Aaron Rodgers, and I didn't even go to the game because actually straight through. I live right here in Jersey City, so I could see the stadium. That's one of the few Jet games I didn't go to because I knew it was gonna be a long season, and I could feel the air getting let out of the city on the 4th play of the game. And when he went down, I'm sitting there like, there's no way. This cannot be possible. I don't think in the history of football has a starting quarterback with that much, I guess the organization really depending on the player that much gets hurt on the 4th play of the game. I don't think that's ever happened. So all my buddies are like, dude, we must be cursed. So I don't think so. I never thought that Cody was cursed. I just think that Raymond Rollins, he was, the bloodline was a bloodline, and it was kind of hard to knock down the bloodline. So we need a Paul Heyman. That's what we need. We need a Paul Heyman, like a hype man for the Jets.
You have a great point. Nikki asked me, she's like, what's it like? So full transparency, Nikki's a Patriot fan. So opposites do attract.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go now. All right.
but that being said, she goes, she always asks me once in a while, what's it like being a Jet fan? And the best analogy, I think you probably most people could get this being a wrestling fan too, is I said after 10 years, CM Punk returned in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He got injured. He was out 6 months. I was like, that's exactly what a Jet fan is.
Yeah. It's fine. My analogy is just like, when you have, you give it like a baby maybe crying in the backseat or something, and you give it a lollipop, and the baby gets, and then all of a sudden you just snatch the lollipop, rip all the baby's teeth out. That's what I feel like, because it's like I'll be honest. When I'm in Jersey City now. When I used to live in Long Island City, and AJ's been to my place a few times in Long Island City, and I lived like directly across the street from the firehouse. And at that time, I just had Rambo, so I walk my dog every day. Firefighters be outside every day. How the Jets gonna do? I'm like, man, I just saw you yesterday. Like, and so you gotta imagine, like, Jet fans are like, and I see every year, and I'm just like, man, I feel bad for Jet fans because it's like you just pray and you hope, like, man, can this be our year? Can we have nice things? Can we win a division? Can we win a playoff game? Can we go back to the playoff? Like, those are things that, as a Patriot fan, that's like second nature. Like, this year is like, okay, we got a rookie head coach. You got a young quarterback, and even then, you're still gonna be competitive. As Jets, you're like, man, we could bring in the whole world, and it'll tell us what's gonna happen.
I hear you on that one. Well, definitely love talking about football. I can talk about football all day, but obviously this is the wrestling happy hour. We know you're a big wrestling fan, and Nikki is our wrestling liaison here.
I like to pivot a little bit. I love asking when I find people are like wrestling fans. Like, what is like, because you told Nick about like being in Kentucky and the farm center. Like, what is like a first match or wrestler or pay-per-view or house show you were at that you saw that you were just like, this is my shit now. Like, this is amazing. Like, what caught your attention? It
started actually, it's funny, it started with my granddad. So like my granddad, my mom's dad, was a huge wrestling fan, and as a kid, I would just literally sit on the couch with him. We watched wrestling all day long, and it was just like, and that was kind of our deal. And it was just like, I'm talking about Junkyard Dog, Dusty Rhodes, like you name it, like Georgia Animal Steel, like all of these, the British Bulldogs, like all of these old time wrestlers. And then we lived in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and so we got a chance to go to the farmhouse. And I'm like, I'm a young kid, but it's like, and you couldn't tell me that I wasn't gonna grow up and be a wrestler. Like that's what I thought I wanted to do. But it was just that. For me, it's like every time I think about wrestling, I think about just the time spending with my granddad, and just like, it was a larger than life. Because a little bit about my backstory is like, I was born in Germany because my dad was in the military, so I didn't even know anything about. I was never NFL or a football fan. I was always a wrestling fan because it was the thing I related to the most. And and I'm the youngest of 7, so the many times if I got suplexed off the top of the bunk bed, or like literally, my brothers and sisters used to pile drive me, like literally, like, and it's because you see it on TV, and I'm like, that's probably how I got so tough playing football, because there was nothing like getting slung to the bed and then all of a sudden getting clotheslined, and these were like, and this was real. So I'm just like, I just knew, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a wrestler, because I used to get tortured being the youngest. All the new moves we saw in wrestling, they all worked out on me. So I got power drive. I was in the figure 4 leg lock all the time. It was like, literally, it's probably sibling abuse. I can say child abuse because my parents didn't power drive me, but I was in the headlock all the time. So it was but yeah, that's what my first love was, and the days of Hulk Hogan. It was just larger than life. I guess I actually had a chance to meet. I was with AJ. I had a chance to meet Ric Flair. I almost fell out of he was at a charity event. Yeah, he was at a charity event, and me and AJ got a chance to meet him, and it was like, that literally was like me meeting, like Jim Brown, like that, because Ric Flair was, everybody wanted to be Ric Flair. You know what I mean?
We actually have on our wall, I obviously can't see, because we have a signed Ric Flair like 8x10. And I regret to this day. So Nikki and I got ironically engaged on the Chris Jericho cruise. That's how big of wrestling fans we are.
How could you not? Yeah.
and was on that cruise, and we're like, should we go meet him? And like, well, I don't know. Like, there's so much going on. And we didn't. And now to this day, we're like, we missed ironically, the boat, pun intended, I guess.
Yeah. It's I don't know if did you guys ever see the I think this is the documentary. I think it was a 30 for 30 on ESPN.
Yeah.
Man, that might be, and I tell all my buddies, whether they're wrestling fans or not, I'm like, that might be the greatest documentary ever. He was talking to me, he's like, so you mean to tell me that you would drink almost like a case of beer, 2 bottles of whatever every day? He's like, well, I worked every day, right? He's like, yeah. He said, by the time I got done with that, he was on the table. I was like, that was one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. And it's crazy too. Go ahead.
Well, you see all his lines, like, everyone's using his lines like from 80s, 90s today, like rapper, like all these artists. It's crazy.
That was the cool part when they talk, like Snoop Dogg. He was like, he was our guy. He was like, everybody wanted to be Ric Flair because and as an athlete, you never want to. Unless you run like track and field or something, it's never an individual sport. But Ric Flair gave you that ability to be like, hey, I'm the best. You know what I mean? Like, all of these women here are going home with me. You know what I mean? Like, he's like the Rolex wearing. Like, so that was cool. And just watching that and seeing how he influenced sports and how he influenced people to kind of, like Deion Sanders. I don't think there would have been a Deion Sanders without a Ric Flair, because he allowed people to be like, I can be flashy and also be good, and just, and never apologize for it.
Yeah, it's not cocky if you back it up, right? Like, it's the same
exactly.
They do that now. They're just like, give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. They're like, clap, clap, woo! And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, it's funny too because teams. I've seen like little league teams and their kids are out there. They memorize all the lines and they do. Give me a 2 clap. Yeah, woo! Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So how'd you get become a love of wrestling?
Both of us, or in general?
Yeah, both of you.
That's a great question. No one ever asked us that. So honestly, like I think similar, like from childhood, like I kind of grew up just getting into it, and like I don't know why, like the Ultimate Warrior just like resonates with me. I know he wasn't the best wrestler, and everyone craps on me, especially on this show for it. But like just the excitement, the energy, like everything, all the theatrics, like same thing. Like now looking back on it, you look on so many wrestlers, like man, they really weren't a great wrestler, but they got me so excited as a kid because of what they did, and like. For me, that was Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage. As I got like older, like Shawn Michaels was the guy for me. Nikki, what about you?
That was the same. Like, well, like my dad was super into it, and that's like what me got into it. Because like my mom worked nights, so I was like home with my dad, and he would just put wrestling on, and that's what we did. Yep. And he loved Bam Bam Bigelow, being Jersey people, Asbury Park, and I. One of my WrestleMania, him and LT is just so that's like a very early like imprinted in my brain is that WrestleMania match, Salt and Pepper dancing, like that is so in my brain of that match.
Wow. So did you guys go to the WrestleMania in Philly this year?
We did not.
We debated.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, like, because we do the shows, so we do recap shows and stuff like that. So like usually like it's a lot easier, especially with obviously with the dog getting coverage and things like that.
Yeah.
But we're trying. I think in the future we're trying to plan it out. We do a lot of like. Nikki and I do a lot of like AEW and like New Japan at one point in time in our first.
It was like kind of like at Prudential Center or like MSG or like I really love like out in Brooklyn. Why is it not in my brain right now?
Oh, Barclays
Center.
Barclays,
like,
yeah.
It's like we saw NXT there, so like anything kind of local we try to hit, but like traveling more with like the dog is a lot.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's funny. I went to WrestleMania this past year. It was so cold. Like it was like ridiculous. I mean, literally, it was so uncomfortable. It was like freezing. And I'm up. I mean, I was excited. I took cause I had one of my buddies actually works for the WWE, and they live out in Princeton. I guess that's where everything's located. And so they Stanford, Connecticut. And so I got me and my buddy got my buddies. We got a couple tickets, and I was freezing. I was like, I couldn't. You know what I mean? It's like you're in a football stadium. And the wind is swirling. I mean, even though it's just like so exciting, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get out of here. we had a blast. But I've been actually, because Pat McAfee's a buddy of mine, and I got a chance to see him when he came to the Garden for the Monday Night Raw. So it's pretty cool. So it's cool when it's like I'm with you guys when it's close in the area and it's convenient. I'm never going to. I'm telling you, I'm never doing that again. That Philadelphia was as much fun as we were having. It was so freaking cold. I mean, you couldn't. And there was nothing you can do. I mean, unless you had like, and my things, I'm not going to a football stand sitting in a suite watching wrestling because you can't see anything. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was cool. It was cool to be there, but it was freezing. I was like, man, it was unbelievable.
It's April. Yeah, you're talking Northeast. You're gonna get that.
That's like Vegas next year.
Yeah, that's exactly where it needs to be too. Because I'm like, I mean, I don't think they anticipated it being that cold, but it was brutal. I mean, it was cold.
So Tony, I got a question for you. So obviously as a wrestling fan, you talked about like being a fan growing up and wanting to be a wrestler. Like you see a lot of even now, like one of your probably like Braun Breaker, ex fullback, right? He's
exactly.
Making a name for himself. Like their goal, obviously everyone knows Goldberg, Roman Reigns, ex players. Like. Is there a particular like well, one, did you ever consider that? And like two, I guess, is there a particular player that you say like really made that transition and you're like, wow, like I'm impressed with how they.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about The Rock. I mean, The Rock played at the University of Miami, which is crazy. But I think two guys now that I know for a fact that will probably end up doing it. I think George Kittle will. I mean, he has that personality, and I'm surprised that Gronk hasn't done it yet because he kind of has that. He has that type of personality. But I could 1,000% seeing. I could see Kittle. I mean, as soon as he retires, I mean, he's going to be kind of one of those guys, kind of like Kelsey, So Travis is probably not going to do it because now he has Tay and they're billionaires, and because I could totally see Travis Kelce doing that, but now I'm just thinking like his life is kind of pivoted a little bit. It's funny. So Travis is a buddy of mine. We both of our dogs are named Rambo, and that's how we kind of bonded. And I could totally see Travis because he's kind of built for that and everything else. But I think for me personally, I never thought because I never wrestled, and that's the biggest thing is like a guy rest his soul, like Saragusa, he's a Jersey kid, and then Dave Zott, who played with me with the Jets, he works for the Jets now. I mean, he played with me with the Chiefs, but he works for the Jets, and they used to wrestle right here in New Jersey. And so they, I think you kind of have to have a little bit of a wrestling background. I mean, you do have to have a wrestling background, not only just the personality for it, but you have to. And I never really wrestled because, black kid in Germany, we didn't wrestle. So it's funny. There's just certain sports that you just don't do. Like some of my buddies that grew up here in New York, like, oh man, we grew up playing lacrosse. I'm like, dude, I'd never even heard about lacrosse until I moved to, It's just like in Alabama, we didn't, moving around, there was no lacrosse. It was a certain sport. So really wrestling really wasn't big in Alabama, but I would have loved to had that opportunity. But, I think but I definitely think 1,000% Kittle will be in the ring, I think, whenever he finishes and hangs the cleats up.
Interesting. So if you were to go in the ring, what would your ring name be? I know
I don't know. I'd have to. Man, that's a. No one ever asked me that question because you gotta have something that's but then you want to be original, so you gotta think like what would be like kind of your style, and I'm more. I don't know. I'd kind of want to be a bad boy. You know what I mean? In a way, yeah. I'd kind of. I don't know. You know who what's my man's name? He's part of the bloodline. The one that every time he comes in the ring, the whole crowd starts going crazy. What's his name? Every time. No, he's part of the bloodline. What's it's like Whoop.
Jey Uso.
Yeah, Jey Uso. Yeah. See, I want to have the crowd jumping like that, so I need something that's gonna be catchy, because he has the crowd lit when they come in the ring. Yeah, he has
it. Yeah.
Huh?
They go crazy for him.
Oh, they go. I'm talking about like everybody. McAfee standing on the table. Everyone's jamming. Yeah. So I'd like to have something like that. I don't necessarily know. I don't think I'd want to be hated though, where people are like booing me and stuff like that. And that's funny because I hadn't been to a wrestling match. I hadn't been to a match in a while. So when I went to Monday Night Raw, all my buddies thought I was crazy because I was so into it, and like all the sayings like, you can't. And every time somebody had a sign, they'd get into it. I was like yelling. I had lost my voice. I was like, my voice like, man, what the hell is wrong with you? I said, I'm having a blast.
Like being at the live show, you get so fucked in, and you just want to like chant and cheer with everybody.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the way they do it now is like electric. I mean, with the fireworks and everything else, it's like, and it's funny. I took actually a former Jet, Eric Coleman. We got tickets to. There again, my buddy gave us. We had great tickets too. We were at what's the place up in New Jersey where one of the hockey teams play, where Islanders play.
In New Jersey?
Oh no, it's in New York. It's in New York.
Coliseum. No, not Coliseum. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a match there, and he brought his daughters and his kids, and it was so loud in there that one of his youngest starts crying. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. You know what I mean? So, and then she couldn't really conceive that they really, obviously they were hitting each other, and she was just like so upset. Like his wife had to take her to the car. Like because we were so close, like where you could catch the sweat coming off the thing. She wanted no part of that. I'm over here like, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's electric though. It's definitely in WrestleMania this year, even though it was freaking cold, just the amount of everything they put into it, it's amazing. To me, it's one of the best sporting events that you can possibly attend. And just to, and it's nothing like seeing a grown man in a diaper or just walking down the street with a belt. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, you got to go to work tomorrow. You got to go. Today's Sunday. You got to go to work on Monday. And you out here with your face painted, with a diaper on, with a belt. And I'm like, that's what you're talking about. I'm like, he's gonna be on Wall Street tomorrow, and I'm like, I love it.
Exactly. That's why we love it, Nikki.
That's why you love it. You have to.
Exactly. Before we let Tony go, Nikki, last.
I have
shot.
one, maybe controversial, maybe not. What is your take on the spear as like a finisher as a move? Some people are better than others.
You know what? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying because a lot of football players use like you know like yeah like the
It's like Roman's is a good one. I like Edge, who's not necessarily a footballer, did a great one. I love Jey Uso, not necessarily in love with his spear. So I want to get your take.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a fan. I mean, I do know it's controversial, but I'm with it. You know what I mean? It's like you know, it's all I said all everything's fair in warring games or something like that. So I'm with it. Yeah. So it didn't really bother me. So I'm with it. Yeah. What's your take on it? Did you like it or no or what?
I just feel like some people do it better than others, and I just feel like maybe it's like a super kick. Like everyone does a super kick.
Yeah.
Like Shawn's amazing. Shawn Michaels is the best super kick.
Yeah.
Some people I feel like Roman Reigns' spear is so good. I think Jay's is a little less though. So it's like the game.
How's Bailey doing? Because you know it's funny when they were in town. This was a bit ago. I had a chance to meet Bailey. We actually went to and actually Kathy Kelly was my neighbor. She used to live. Now she's big time. Now she's big time. Like she was my neighbor. I lived in Long Island City. She lived in Greenpoint, and we met at a charity event. We were doing a hospital visit, and she was there, and Bailey and someone else was there, and so we used to just text each other on Instagram. Now she's bigger than life now. So but I got a chance to meet Bailey, and so I was always a fan of hers. And then obviously when she won, I guess it was a little bit last year. I tweeted at her and she retweeted me. But how's Bailey doing? I haven't kept up with her in a while.
She lost at she won at Mania and then she lost it at SummerSlam. So we haven't seen her since. But last Friday when they were in Germany for Bash of Berlin, she came out and interrupted the Nia match.
So she's kind of.
So I think I'm assuming tonight she'll be back and going after Nia again for the belt.
Okay. Yeah. What time's it come on? It's at 8:00 tonight?
Yeah. You got half hour.
Yeah, and we know you got a lot going on. Where can everyone find you? What do you obviously up to before we let you go?
Yeah, so my Twitter is at 49trich. My Instagram is private, but if you request me, I'll follow you. It's Tony Rich NY, and then my Facebook is Tony Richardson. So, but it's funny because Bill Belichick just got on. Because I did a check-in this morning because we do this thing it's called 96 check-in. So we had a player who used to kind of just check on guys all the time to see how they were doing. And by the name of Cortez Kennedy, and unfortunately he passed away. So Walter Jones, the Hall of Famer, he said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to start kind of taking that mantle and start checking in." So I checked in this morning when I was at the train station in the Amtrak, and obviously delayed. But so Bill Belichick just created, because he, as a coach, he was never on any kind of social media. So the other day he did a promo. He was like, he's like, "Hey, world, I'm finally now on InstaFace." And so when I introduced myself this morning, I'm like, "Yeah, guys, I'm checking in right now on InstaFace." So I'm like, "Where the hell you get InstaFace from?" So yeah, on InstaFace, I'm Tony Rich NY. InstaFace.
I'm very worried about Bill Belichick being on any social media. Reminds me of my parents being on it, and they should not be on it.
Well, it's funny because it's crazy because now he's on Game Day with Pat McAfee, and McAfee was just kind of like you have to if you have a brand you have to be on social media, because if you have stuff to get out there, if you don't have a platform to get it out there, someone else is gonna get it out there for you and monetize it. Yeah. And so, he was like, now I'm finally on InstaFace. I'm like, what the hell you get InstaFace?
I just can't wait for that. I imagine that inadvertent live video that happens when he's trying to call someone,
exactly.
That's going to happen.
Or forget that it's still live. And he's like, something happened. Yeah. I forget you're still live, right? That mic's still hot.
Exactly. Well, Tony, it was an absolute pleasure.
Great time.
Please, by all means, you're welcome to come back whenever if you want to talk wrestling, football, whatever. It's like
sounds good. You guys enjoy the match. So will you guys watch football in the match tonight? Or you guys all into the match?
That's a good question, man. You're asking the hard hitting questions tonight.
I'll probably be flipping back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, there's picture in picture. Isn't that what that's for, right?
You know, it's funny. I have picture in picture on my TV. I don't know if you know, because I don't know. Can you do? Because I stream. I don't like. I guess what they call now is called cutting the cord. So I don't have necessarily cable. So I use my internet. So when you stream a lot of things, I'm like, I don't know how you can do that. I need to figure that out because, like right now, what I generally do is I'll just like for the football game tonight, I'll put the game on the TV and then I just use my computer. But I want to be able to, because back in the day you could just do side by side and you had like 2 shows on and decide what volume you want and do all that stuff. And I'm like, it's funny you say that because all the TVs do have picture in picture. I just don't know how to work them when you stream.
I think it has to do with the cable. Like we have with Optimum. But so you can do it on the cable box. But I think like on like if you're using like cutting the cord, like your point, like Netflix, you can only watch one show at a time.
Yeah.
They try to get you. They want their money. Yeah, they want their money. They're not sharing.
Exactly. Even though everyone's got like 15 like Netflix licenses and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, didn't they cut down on that though about a number of users that you can give out or something like that? Or you had to pay more for it. I don't know.
Stop anybody. There's always a workaround or a.
Yeah, as long as you don't get up and start splicing your cord, like and start putting. Back in the day, you just jump on your neighbor's roof and hook up to their cable.
Or the black boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched all the WWE pay-per-views with that black box.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, everybody had a hookup back in the day. Yeah.
Well, Tony, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining the show. Hopefully we'll catch you next time sometime soon.
That'd be cool. I look forward to it.
Thanks, man. Well,
I guess. So what do you guys think? You think the Tribal Chief's coming back, or you think? Because where are we going with this? Like,
not tonight. I don't think tonight.
No, not tonight. But it's because there's been hints that he's coming back soon, right? Or what's going on?
It's gonna be the Survivor Series. They're gonna do a big match.
Yeah.
So I think Jacob laid him out. He's gonna be out for a little bit, but then there'll be a big. Faction warfare in November.
What I'm playing on is, I don't know if you remember, this was like peak Attitude Era. Kane returned. It was like a DX skit when DX was bad. Like it was like X-Pac, Triple H, and all that. With Stephanie around. And Paul Bearer came back. He had the red suit on. They shined the light on him. And then he brought Kane back and he just destroyed everyone. That's kind of what I'm hoping that Paul Heyman gets.
Yeah. What do you guys think about CM Punk? Do you guys like CM Punk?
For the most part.
I think I see Punk on the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think he puts butts in seats and like he gets me interested in his matches. So I don't.
Yeah.
Like his match with Drew last Saturday was great.
Yeah. Who would be the? Because you got So who's the top lady wrestler? Because you have what's the crew that has the Asian lady? They
not the Kabuki. They were the Kabuki.
No, Damage Control.
Damage Control. Yes.
Yeah, Damage Control. Yeah. What do you guys think of Damage Control?
I feel like they're better wrestlers than WWE's letting them be.
Okay.
I feel like they can tear down a house and they get like a 5-minute match.
Yeah.
Give them 20 minutes, let them build a match, build a story. I think they're kind of, again, women's matches kind of get.
Well, I think the problem with WWE is, and this is not bad, is it's like they don't know how to build up Japanese stars. They haven't found a way, like the internet, to build.
Have they had an? I don't. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I don't necessarily believe there's been a top Japanese star, has it? Or
Nakamura maybe.
Shinsuke Nakamura should have been so big and so good.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I never thought about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Low blow.
Sorry. Don't get me on a rant about Nakamura.
But Tony, again, thanks for coming on. Hey, if you want to come, you're welcome to come back on whenever. We love.
Okay, sounds good. That was a lot of fun. You guys bring up some good memories. Like I said, I just remember sitting on my granddad's lap in his recliner chair, and we watched wrestling all day, and that was like the highlight of just like of my childhood. You know what I mean? And Yes, yeah. You guys definitely made me dig back in the old brain to remember some good old memories. So appreciate
Well,
that.
now you got to start watching a little more regularly. You got
Yeah, I
WWE,
do.
Smackdown coming
Well,
on.
it's funny, dude. Like it's on like so much now. And it's like, and I just it's kind of one of those things. Like my buddies are just like, "Hey man, you should watch this show on Netflix." And I'm like, and I was like, "Oh, is it a movie?" It's like, "No, it's a series." I was like, "Nope, not a chance." It's if there's like 8 seasons with 15 episodes, because I know myself. Like I'm gonna have an addictive personality, and I literally would like binge watch like 13 hours straight. And so my thing is like, and that's the biggest thing. And I'm like, I try to like, and I know me because like I was really watching Monday Night Raw. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, we got this on Tuesday, we got this on Wednesday, we got this on Thursday, we got Friday. And I'm like, good Lord. So yeah. But yeah, I definitely need to start watching a lot more.
Well, we'll keep you up to date. Hey, we'll be your
guy.
Your recap people.
All right, sounds good. Well, you guys have a good evening tonight, and thanks so much for having me on.
We'll catch you next time, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
sounds good. See you guys. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Richardson. Work on her.
Oh my god, I love him.
He loves wrestling. Who doesn't love someone who's an ex-football player who loves wrestling on our NFL?
I know, you had to tell him I was a Patriot fan.
I tell everyone you're a Patriot fan. I feel like it's something that you need to disclose to people.
Well, it's my other life.
You should be forced to disclose that to people.
I don't watch it anymore. I literally,
it's like, when you do a background check.
At your mother's house, I'm watching the Red Zone channel. I don't watch football games anymore. Just I want Scott Hansen to tell me the things I need to know with my life. Why not? Just like what we do, we tell you what wrestling stuff you need to know. Scott Hansen tells me what I need to know about scoring touchdowns on a Sunday.
Fair enough. Well, Nikki, are you ready?
Yeah.
The lines are still open. They're still hot.
We're not done, baby.
We are ready to roll.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. He's quickly becoming a regular on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes by the Professor. Herbert, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. How are y'all doing tonight?
Good. Cheers. What are you thinking? What are you drinking on this Friday evening?
I actually am waiting on my wife to bring me something to drink.
Yeah, there we go. Cheers to that.
Well,
I would try that, but obviously.
Well, I just had back surgery a month ago, so I'm still trying to take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Fair enough. So what are you thinking this week, Erm?
I'm looking forward to the AEW pay-per-view. Definitely. I saw, and this just came to mind because I saw this tweet on Facebook where a fan was going off on the Hangman Page Swerve thing. And he was like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And that's why AEW is garbage. And if you're not following CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, that's the greatest rivalry ever. And I'm like, really?
It brings up, honestly, we said it earlier, and we said, it brings up the question: Is this what's the better feud right now? Like, these are the top two feuds. It's Swerve, Hangman, and Punk McIntyre for both companies that are not around a title. Well, even around a title, I think any feud.
So, in my opinion, Swerve and Hangman is the better feud. And I can see why someone would think McIntyre and Punk is, because they've been interacting since Royal Rumble. Even with Punk hurt, he would come do something. So I can understand why some people would think that. But how in the world can you not think a feud is not better than Hangman and Swerve? Swerve cut an interview on Page's infant son. People forget this and hate Hangman because he oh, he's jealous and he's losing his mind. I would lose my mind if you broke in my house, cut a promo over my son's crib, and people are booing him.
Left a shirt in the crib.
And that just shows you, this to me shows why AEW has a better storyline for this reason. The heel in this story is Swerve Strickland, but they have did such a master job on throwing different hints and different aspect to it that now you as a fan are cheering the bad guy, Swerve Strickland, over Page.
Fair point. But that's the thing with the McIntyre Punk story. It's like they both have a right to say, like, you know what, like, yeah, you got a point.
Well,
I feel like they both got a point.
I would say, like, Punk screwed over Drew a bazillion times. I feel like Drew was that heel that's right, but no one agrees with him because everyone loves Punk. But I feel like I agree with you. Like, the Swerve Hangman feud just feels so much real. Like, you were in my house, you were over my child's crib, you were watching me carry my pregnant wife, and then I burned your house to the ground.
And it's something more passionate because, again, for me, family is everything. You break in my house and do anything to my wife or my kids, yeah, jail is not going to be strong enough to hold me to do some devious, nasty, every little thing I could think of to do. Now, getting back to CM Punk and Drew. Punk is the bad guy too, and he tells you he's the bad guy, and most people don't care because they love him so much. But everything McIntyre has said has been true. Every time he gets something, Punk interferes. WWE doesn't do a thing about it. So then, okay, he gets his revenge. Then they want to suspend him, but Punk can go just come up, show up, jump him from behind, cost him title match after title match, and it's all gravy, no problem. They even said when I can't even think of his name, the announcer tried to stop McIntyre. Yeah, Barrett. He even defended him. And what did WWE do? They had a talk with him to tell him to calm down or else.
Yeah.
So again, I get it, but it's just more. And I don't care about your stupid bracelet. I'm so glad that he tore that bracelet up and made him eat it.
You're not a bracelet fan?
No, I'm just not a CM Punk fan. So he should have choked on every little bit and piece of that.
There you go. That one's for you. That one's
and on top of that, I am a dog person. I love dogs. But if I see Larry, I'm going to kick him myself. He's ugly. It's true. And hey.
He's a rescue, though, isn't he?
The one thing about Punk that just makes me so upset, he's condescending, and everything he hollers about the man, he's just the reverse opposite. He was for the people, right? When he first was in the WWE, it was the people and doing it the right way and getting the people over. This time he tell you, I don't care about you. I want money. And then you still stupid to cheer for him.
And I agree with it. And I think that's why Drew's promo last week is so good. He's like, oh, you're going for nostalgia versus over the warrior that was there for you during the pandemic. And they said on commentary, it's like, oh, this is the first time Punk is getting the strap. I was like, yeah, because he's always been blindsiding Drew this whole time. I agree with you. I think Punk's the heel in this.
It is so funny how the announcers can try to swerve us as fans like we don't have common sense. Like we can't see. Like, oh my God, he burnt his house down. That's just wrong. His family house. I ain't heard y'all once holler about being over his. Let me take that lie back. The first couple of weeks they talked about it like, oh, but then after they saw him drinking blood. Hey, you know what? Swerve may not be so bad after all.
It's such a weird feud. It's been going on for so long. It's been longer than Punk Drew at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For that reason alone, that's why I tend to agree with you, Professor. Is that like it's probably a better feud because it's been long. Well, actually, it's a year in the works versus 6.
Give me Swerve.
No, 9. Wait, 4. Math is hard. Not 5 months. So yeah.
Give me Swerve. Hangman all day.
And what I like about it too, they intertwine with other things and make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman, well, Hangman was out for whatever reason, personal reason, and Swerve won the championship. When Hangman came back, he intertwined with him. They didn't touch, but he kept trying to do things. He wanted to get the championship match. That's why he teamed with the Elite, because they promised him a championship match. And so they kept, I love that part of it. You have to sometimes in storylines, especially if you look at AEW and people criticize them for this, but it's life. Things happen. So the storyline that you set to the side, you may not be able to go to or may have to put it off. To me, they put it off, but kept my interest. Yeah. They put one little nugget in there. I'm like, wait a minute. He did. Oh, I wonder if I'm the only one that caught that.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it better. Plus, I think this match come tomorrow, I'm just expecting the world out of it because it's a cage match. It's no holds barred. We seen what they did in the other matches. What kind of crazy crap can they come up with to just blow our minds?
Real glass, Crimea River.
Another thing I heard y'all talking about, and I wanted to give my 2 cents on, was Willow Nightingale and Statlander.
The most controversial feud of All Out.
I love both of them. I truly do, and I want both of them to succeed. But here's the problem that I see with AEW and women's division. When you have a good, meaningful feud, they bury it. They just keep throwing it and don't give enough TV time. And with Statlander and Willow, they have just gave such a crappy rapport to it that it's almost like I'm interested in it, but I don't want to watch it because it's the same thing, and they've made me so disinterested in it.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, like, okay, Willow is the new CMLL Women's Champion. Why do I care?
That's so great point, and that's the problem. Great point, Paul. That's the problem with the AEW. So first off, AEW's got like 15 titles already, let alone like with the trios, the tag titles, international, like TBS, TNT, like there's a million belts. So you have probably 9 to 10 belts to start with already. I mean, if you count like legit every actual belt, including like the trios, like 3 belts for, you know, but
And then if you include Ring of Honor,
that, and that's the problem with the crossovers, because now you start having Ring of Honor, which is owned by, you know, Tony Khan, but then you have CMLL, and then you have New Japan and everything else. Like, so why do I care that like, to your point, like this feud is a CMLL belt, or really started with basically around the CMLL.
It's a feud that started in AEW, and Will Nightingale got the belt because Stephanie McIntyre was leaving.
Right, like, it's just like a weird, right, to your point, like it's just a weird like transitional like over, and like it's even like the crossover you see with TNA. It's like in WWE, you don't, unless you're bringing the main belt and you only have 2 or 3 belts. I'm not going to care as much about all these other auxiliary feuds belt. Like, just because you put a belt in the match doesn't make me interested anymore.
And I agree, and I understand that and agree with that. And generally, I'm the type of person, for me, well, and I say y'all because we all know our wrestling. We know different promotions and everything. So I'm okay with it to bring in another promotion's titles and show them and try to get some of our audience to look at their stuff. But when their promotion has an issue and we throw it on ours to a feud that was already established and does us no good and their brand no good, because this is all United States. It's not like they went over to Mexico and continued the feud there, which would make more sense.
Right.
So, you know, I love them. And the other main problem with AEW, they do not mix the women enough. You get 2 to 3 women, and that's all you see. It's the same ones. And you job out other women that should not be jobbed out, that are a lot better than most casual fans know, and make them look bad. Then when you run through those 3, then you'll throw up a person that you just jobbed out last week and tell me that they're the number 1 contender. What?
Exactly.
I say it every week. Like, give the women a chip and a chair, give them a shot, give them a, like, it doesn't have to be about give them like 15 minutes, like what they can do. But like, again, the feud with Willow and Stat, like, give them 15 minutes, because they have not gotten that.
And I'm pissed off that only get 1 match. Or if we're lucky, we'll get 2.
Yeah.
Very lucky. Or if we ain't getting 2, we get 1 match and 2 promos.
Exactly.
It's like you, and I guess we all as wrestling fans think we know better than the bookers and we can do this and this. But I'm so sick and tired of when I see the men's world champion and the women's world champion, automatically I put the men's up here and the women's down here. And it's not the athlete, it's the crappy stories that they drive around it. They put no time, you don't build. Then the feud is something like just so insulting. Well, why y'all feuding?
Not to put this out there, but like, like, are most of the, I don't, and I'm just throwing this out there without really probably not, but like, are most of the bookers, like Fit Finlay used to book the women's division? Like, is it mostly male bookers booking the female division?
Yes.
Yeah, but all the women said Fit Finlay was good about booking the women. So,
but like, who's booking it now? Is it not, like, that's the thing? Maybe a woman booking like, the women's division.
Because early on it was Omega booking the women, and that's why Riho was your champion. I don't know who's booking the women now. I know in WWE, it's Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson is in charge of women, and they all adore him. But I would give them more. But again, it's just like, again, I said this, I think I just said it to you. Like, I don't give a shit about Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews having their weird little tag match. Like, give that to somebody else.
Yeah, give it to one of the females who.
Yeah, it's like, again, you don't. Feuds don't have to be around a belt. Like, how many men's feuds are around other things?
Exactly. But and I give you one even more. I agree exactly what you said. But this is the key to me. Make it where I want to enjoy it. As I'm not a woman, you are. But I can imagine how insulted you are when two women are feuding because one stole her lipstick.
Yeah.
That is so demeaning and irritating. It drives me crazy. And a lot of times I have to get stopped because I would go on a rant on how bad the women division is treated. Just like when they talk about, well, women don't need secondary titles. Yes, they do. Because what is the point of saying I'm a women's world champion? There's no other title to go up again. Go for it. So if you ain't a women's champion, what are you?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think they're piling that on NXT, that they have the Women's North American Championship. I would love that on Maine, to be honest. It's hard. And being an NXT kid, like growing up, like all I watched was bikini matches, and I can't tell you how much I've seen Sable's body that I don't really care about. So like, we had such, not to be redundant, but like such an revolution of women's wrestling, and I just want to keep that going. And sometimes I feel like we dip to the other side, that like, just give the women 10 minutes, a chip in a chair will fucking show out and show up, and you're gonna look good.
You know what they need to do? And I love, and I'm one of the big fans of Triple H, not just of his booking style, but he's a traditionalist and he is a historian. So I really appreciate a lot of things that he do. The women, the main roster are all going to get secondary titles. You see it coming, you see how well it's working in NXT. So it is going to happen. I think that if they would do this, again, stop looking at men and women and looking less at the women as athletes and stuff, and just book them as professional wrestlers. You would see, we would get so many more different things and love, like they talk about Charlotte Flair and who was that? Charlotte and Monet. Sasha Banks. And they were talking about, it was the greatest cage match ever. Well, it's hard not to be the greatest when it's the only. So what are you really saying?
Fair point.
Well, can't agree now.
Well, Professor, you've added a lot, as always. Before we let you go, last shot. And where can everybody find you?
Y'all can find me and my group, the Wrestling Society Network, on Facebook. And don't forget, we have a free wrestling app. Free. And it's on Roku, Apple TV. It's on Amazon and Fire Stick, and it's free, and it will give you all different types of wrestling. It's not just one different style. It's so many different things. Check it out, and it's listed under WSN. And as always, thank y'all for having me.
It's good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, Professor, it's always a pleasure. Until next time, cheers. Sir, or cut off the Professor, ladies and gentlemen. As we move on.
We're after 8 o'clock. What's going on?
I know, we've got one last caller. As I'm
I hope it is.
potentially, it depends who you. You never know who it is. You never know who's going to show up on the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. As she's finishing up. So that being said, our closer for this evening is a regular. I think I sincerely, because it changes every time, I sincerely hope it's the regular, because if it's not, it'd be really awkward, but you never know. That being said, say his name. He appears. But you have to say ba 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 da boop.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat
Steven!
I can't possibly follow a Pro Bowler.
Well, you could try.
Pita.
You can try. You are a regular here, sir.
No,
I'll be brief because the SmackDown just started. I think this is the last SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah, it is.
yes,
Oh my
actually,
God.
yes, it is. Check
Right,
your
so
DVR.
they start on USA next week, correct?
No, it's the DVR. I am saying that out loud so that hopefully somebody hears it.
Yes. Check your local listings.
Steve, the check's in the mail from WWE. So what are you thinking this week, Steve? I mean, it's been a couple days since we,
It's
well,
been so
about a
long.
week.
It's been a week. He didn't call in. Steven, tell me everything.
Yeah, I had a thing Sunday, so couldn't call in, but show sounded pretty good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for listening in. Always being a regular, Steve.
Yes. To piggyback on something of what Tony Richardson said, I'm sure Gronk would do more. I mean, Gronk did do professional wrestling for a little while, and I'm sure he would do more if he wasn't busy kidnapping Princess Peaches and being chased by Mario and Luigi.
He literally didn't want to take a dive off the thing, and Vince McMahon did the dive of the thing. Like, cross that to me, Jack.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he wasn't he a 24/7? Was 24/7 champion?
Yeah, but he didn't do the jump off the thing.
I gotta remember back. That was pandemic
It was
times, right?
pandemic era, and he was supposed to do a dive off the NXT balcony onto a bunch of people, and he was afraid of it. So Vince is like, "Oh, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And crazy pants fisted man, 70-year-old whoosy wuzzies, jumped off. It was like, "You can do it."
Yeah. And by the time he was feeling better, his boss Brady called, and he had to go back to the football. So,
Pretty much.
yeah, like the bat signal went out, or the Gronk signal.
Big old
Like,
Dorito,
Migo catch ball now. You know?
basically.
God, as a Jet fan, I hate that so much. I hate
Yes.
him. Like I know he's a big dumb animal, but like I hate him so much. And he's funny, but like I hate him as a Jet fan.
Every time I watch Young Frankenstein, I think of him.
That's actually great.
Wait,
Great analogy.
Wait, no. Wait, I love that movie. Are you thinking he's the Frankenstein? And he's like, he doesn't know?
Yes.
I really wish I knew we would be talking about Kowski as much. I would have.
I literally love that Gene Wilder being Gene Wilder.
Every time I see him, see that putting on the Ritz scene, I think of Gronk.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Okay. But he's like, putting on the Ritz, and he's like, okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. What else you got,
I
Steve?
have not made Nick watch that movie, but Stephen, go on.
Yeah. So what else? We got some quick shots. Let's not mince words. Swerve's new contract and Daniel Garcia's new contract that are like way over apparently what their market value, their fair market value would have been. I mean, first of all, if you're going to find somebody to seriously overpay you for what you do, then great, God bless you. But I mean, let's face it, they're not being paid to wrestle for AEW so much as Tony's paying them not to wrestle for WWE.
So
as soon as Tony gets another couple of shiny new toys, they'll be back in catering on and off, waiting for their number to be called.
I couldn't agree. Actually, I'm glad. Thank you for actually letting you finish, because that was the exact point that I thought of, because I don't know that and one of the questions is literally I was going to ask is Daniel Garcia main event talent, because if he's going to get this big contract or whatever that Tony's going to pay him and he's pushed, I don't know that Daniel Garcia is a main event.
Not at this point. He would have gone to NXT if he signed with WWE.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know that he's I don't know. I even that promo, Nikki said that was his best promo of his career.
He's a sweet little baby pickle, and that's why he's not beating MJF. I'm hoping he gets a star-making performance, and he's going to be something in 5-7. He's a child. He's in his 20s. He's a child to me.
Did you just call him a baby pickle?
Mm-hmm.
He's a sweet little baby pickle.
I wish I call
Nick's got a new kid on his team.
I need drops that say
a sweet little baby pickle. It's just you're a sweet little baby. You're a sweet little... No! That's not shame me on that. I call everyone a sweet little baby pickle.
I thought that was cute. That didn't deserve that one.
I know. I don't have any other good ones.
I say it to Nick, insider baseball here, but the new kid on the next team, I listened to the interview and I said he's such a sweet little baby pickle.
You use that about a lot of people, though.
Maybe pickle.
That's your term.
Pickle isn't a term of endearment to me, and it's you're a sweet little pickle. Or pickle. I call Jackson Pickle Baby. Pickle. I don't know why isn't a term of endearment to me.
Look at that sweet little pickle.
That sweet little pickle baby. Not winning. We know he's not winning. I think he's gonna get a good resurgence, and I don't know. How I feel about him and Hook. It's are you going to be better in AEW, or would you benefit better in NXT? Could you be more raw and organic? And if there's not a fucking, sorry, cursing, Moxley, Kingston, Dusty Rhodes kind of class of how to cut a promo, then Tony Khan's out of his mind. This your two best promo kids is Mox and Kingston. You have to teach the little babies. And I just feel I'm worried. I think Garcia was good. Could he be a little better with the seasoning over there? I don't know.
You can always help. But
Steve, I'm feeling going off on a tangent. Anyway. What are you thinking?
No, it's quite all right. I was looking at the last picture and thinking, if I ordered a burger at a diner and the pickle on the side was bleeding like that, never mind bleeding at all.
Juicy little pickle.
Yeah, well, pickles are
juicy little pickle.
I don't even like eating pickles. I don't know.
I love pickles.
Pickles, it's just my brain.
I like some pickles.
Tell me your things.
So, Steve, what else you got for us?
I don't know. Now I want to go out and get some pickles.
I do too.
If Tony really wants to waste his money like that, Titan Towers is up for sale. So
I know that's exciting.
If we put all our nickels together, can we live?
Yeah. I heard on the upcoming Raw, Bret Hart's going to make an appearance.
They're in Calgary.
Live from Calgary. And if I were Bret, I know they're not on Netflix yet, but if I were Bret, this is how the segment would go. I would just walk out, 5 to 10 minutes of thunderous applause. When the noise finally died down, thank you very much, Calgary. Fuck Bill Goldberg. Good night.
Exactly.
Not to bring up that piece of poop, but do you see Hogan was I love Bret Hart. I never ruined Bret Hart. I love him. He just doesn't like anybody.
Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a segment where he's gonna get claymored by Drew. So
Oh, you think because people were saying tsunami by Bronson?
possibly. Possibly. I mean, depends how big of a star they want to try to turn Bronson into at this point.
I'm very disappointed we're not going to get our Natural Disasters 2.0 reunion. Jimmy Hart should manage that group, him and Otis, and they'd be epic. But then again, AOP is big too, and they got screwed. So was the Warrior Viking Raiders. Weren't they called the War Raiders in Ring of
They
Honor?
were War Raiders. They didn't like the word roar, so they became Vikings. So Shitty became a Viking experience, and they're both injured. And Sarah Lucas is preggers. So.
Yeah, things happen. Life happens. Steve, last shot before I let you go.
Yep. In closing, I just want to put in a pin for next week or next time Ed is available to be a caller. I know he had to bolt, but Ed referred to a Gavin Rossdale story, his calls, and I don't think he's told it yet, at least not on.
Yes, we have to get that story out on the show.
And that's all. Ed, if you can hear me, just next time you're on, let's hear that story.
Yeah, Ed.
I want Steve to be Leslie Nielsen, following around people to get the story from it.
I think that actually, oh my gosh, I'm getting decent at this whole photoshopping thing. Steve, I am going to Photoshop you into the Leslie Nielsen Undertaker, and you are. Well, but then again, I know. See, here's the secret of this whole show. That, well, who knows where Bobby Midnight is? He's no longer Bobby Midnight. He's Bobby MIA. But regardless, I don't want to give up the secret. No one knows who Steve is. This is the beauty of Steve. We just have to change an emoji every time to the face. The Mr. The Wilson, right? Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson is a little bit of that.
We'll have to find a way to do it, or the Shredder. I can get you in the Shredder costume.
But what are you talking about? Actual photo I used. I just didn't shave.
It's been a week.
You're just called him Big Sassy Cool.
There he is. He's
Big
Sassy Cool.
He's Big Sassy Cool. Steve, I love you.
Steve,
immensely.
Well, pleasure as always, Steven. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Until next time. Oh, God. He's still on.
Good night. Oh.
After all that, you just say good night.
He said good night all after all that. After all that.
We mean it.
After all that talk. We need to clean this up. We need a good.
We made new friends.
We always make new friends.
Tony, the sweetest man.
You were about to say pickle, and
now I refrained myself. I said man.
The sweetest little fullback you'll ever.
It's so sweet, so nice. What asking we all bring him.
We've never been interviewed on our own show.
No, it's not that that's anything because it's but no, just so happy to be here answering all your questions. Wanted to I still think the Spirit's a shitty finisher, but I think it's good. We're making.
He didn't talk you into the Spirit. Oh, listen, my takeaway from that interview is that it's a crossover show. We tried to cross over. We didn't get as much into NFL stuff. It doesn't matter. But regardless, my takeaway from that interview: the New York Jets are the Cody Rhodes of the NFL.
Oh, don't
book it.
Shut up.
Las Vegas Super Bowl. Is it Las Vegas Super Bowl? Wherever the Super Bowl is, we're going. The wise man calls it. Let's go.
Oh my God. No,
but that,
you're not doing anything.
That being said, the only way to take us out is from our not so CCO, Paul. Triple H.
You're not.
What did you say?
No.
No, stay. No, 97.
I was no.
What are your last thoughts? What are your Jerry Springer final thoughts, Nikki?
No.
Ah.
Flip the Jets is what I'm saying.
Oh, she wants to just do Patriot boo.
Yeah,
When the Jets win the Super Bowl, this is going to be a great party.
If
in
they're
this
not
area.
winning the Super Bowl, I'm not a Patriot fan anymore. I'm just rooting for my team, which Nick's not involved in, and it hurts his butt every day of his life. But we're gonna play this last thing. This has been a weird podcast.
Let's play it before it happens. Let's play it before it happens so that Triple H can speak the truth. Paul, not so CCO of this show.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. Banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
We were able to do that tonight, at least for the next few minutes.
Were we?
Until
Debatable.
I get destroyed. But that being said, it was a pleasure, as always, being with all of you. You do not have to go home.
But you can't stay here. Bye.